Chapter 1, Section 5 is entitled Properties of Numbers. Okay, if we take a look at the top four questions there, we're supposed to tell which property is being represented. And as you can see in red there at the top, I've got the 5 properties we've studied in this section: the commutative, the associative, distributive, identity, and inverse. So those are your 5 choices for these top 4 questions. If we take a look at question number 1 there, we've got 12 times 14 is the same as 14 times 12. Well, what they're saying here is that if I flip the order of the numbers in the multiplication problem, I get the same thing. And remember from the lesson today, that would be the commutative property. The commutative property of multiplication. Why? Because, well, it's a multiplication problem. And the commutative property says I can change the order of the numbers in an addition or multiplication problem and still get the same answer. Remember, as we talked about in class today, look at the root there. C-O-M-M-U-T. Looks like the word commute, kind of. Think about your parents' commute to work. They might travel the same number of miles, but they're going to work and then back from work, different directions, but still covering the same mileage. All right, same thing here. I'm doing the problem in a different way, but I'm still getting the same answer when I multiply it. So that's the commutative property of multiplication. If we take a look at question number 2 there, question number 2 says 1 times 36. Well, what they're saying here is that I get the same answer when I multiply by 1. The same number still pops up here in the answer. And that's the identity property. And of course, this is the identity property of multiplication. Why? Because it's a multiplication problem. There's an identity property of addition as well, and remember, that says if I add 0 to something, I would get the same number. So if we were talking about 36 still, the identity property of addition would be 36 plus 0, still equal to 36. I didn't change the number. I still got the exact same answer. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at number 5 now. In number 5, different set of directions. You'll do the same thing in number 6. They want us to simplify the expression and justify each step. So we've got 4 times 9 times 50. Now, of course, this is not really a nice problem, as you know from class, because I'd have to start off and do 4 times 9. Not really all that smooth. All right, I don't really want to do that. I probably want to do 50 towards the front to make this a little bit of an easier question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invert the 9 and the 50 and rewrite this as 4 times 50 times 9. Now I want to know how we did that, and we did that with the commutative property again. I changed the order of the numbers, but I'll still get the exact same answer. So I've got this 4 times 50 in the front now, and that's really nice because that's 200. All right, I've got 200 times 9 now. And how did I justify that step? Well, I multiplied. And how did I multiply? Ooh, good. I used the order of operations that we just saw yesterday. Order of operations. So now I've got 200 times 9. Well, remember, the reason this is nice is all I have to do is 2 times 9 and then tag on 2 zeros when I'm done, and I will have solved the problem. 2 times 9, that's a lot easier. That's 18. Tag 2 zeros on the end is 1800. And again, why? I multiplied, and yeah, I used the order of operations, but that's also my result. Now you're saying, well, why didn't we just go down this way with this question? Well, I'll show you. If I do 4 times 9 first, I get 36. So the question I have to do now is 36 times 50. Well, that's not really as nice because, yeah, I can use the 0 trick that I used here and tag a 0 on the end, but I still have to do 36 times 5. That's not nearly as clean as me doing 2 times 9, which is a really simple multiplication problem. Here I have to do 36 times 5. Not quite as simple. Most of us don't know our multiples of 36 right off the top of our head like that. So that's why they use this technique. And you'll do the same thing in number 6. Apply the different steps as you need them. You can use any of the 5 properties in red to help you along.